can see what we are, don't know where we belong.
Hey friends, welcome to today's YouTube video. My name is James, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new, long time no see. I know I've been uploading videos on the channel, but I feel like I haven't really talked to you since before my trip. So it literally feels like it's been over a month, but I guess I did, whatever. Let's get into it. We're doing the 100-day project in this video. There are a lot of days that I've filmed and smashed up into this edit, so hopefully you enjoy seeing all of these come together. If you've been following my social media, I do post them all on Instagram, so I guess that's a massive spoiler alert if you were looking to be shocked and surprised. But I like to put these, all these recordings together because I think it'd be a nice way to kind of document the whole project, but also it's nice to see like how some of them come together, because a lot of them have very interesting, interesting results and some kind of unique looks. And I feel like unless you actually see that process come together, maybe you don't know why it looks like I've scribbled across all of something and then painted over the top of it, and that's because that's exactly what I did. So yeah, just take note. I'm being pretty experimental with some of them. Like I'm not expecting to be able to be in control of it and actually create a good, you know, nice finished piece at the end. Sometimes I really am just throwing something down and seeing what happens, which is nice. I like being experimental, especially in, you know, playtime, mixed media art. It's really fun to see what supplies go together and different techniques that I might be interested in. The thing that I think sticks in my mind is like something I keep trying to do, so I've done it a couple of times now, is grabbing a white paint marker. After I've laid all the color down, I try to scribble the paint marker over everything to mute it all down, and then to pick it back out of the kind of that ghosty image underneath. And it works to varying degrees of success. So I think there's some of that in here as well. Oh, I really enjoyed, actually, I've been using my Hobonichi pen, you know, the free pen with purchase they give you. It's just, I mean, I think these are Uni Jetstream. I'm pretty sure they're Jetstream cartridges, SRX 8005, Uni, whatever they are. They're the ones that come with it. I have a bunch of refills because I go through them like crazy. These are my favorite ballpoint pen. I have lots of beautiful ballpoint pens. Actually, I shouldn't say favorite. These are the ones I use the most. I have some other favorites. The Traveler's Notebook one, this one's probably one of my favorites, just because it's so beautiful. This was a gift. Thank you. The pen with Tomboy marker, I'm trying not to turn. I don't know why I feel like I can't turn on the camera. These water-based Tomboy markers with that pen, I use a really, really light color, and I've been like building up the layers to build all this really beautiful, smooth kind of gradient over the image. This happens later towards the end of the video. There's one that I did in blue and then one that I did in purple. I just really enjoyed those effects. If I go too ham with the pen, it kills the paper. Not the pen, the marker. But also the marker, the water-basedness of it kind of smudges out some of that oil-based pen, which you wouldn't think it would, because the oil-based pen, once it dries, is really not... it's not supposed to be water-soluble, but some of the ink in some of those older pens especially kind of blots out just once it's near it. I mean, it just is what it is. Sometimes you get an extra deposit of ink where you don't want it, but that will start to like build into some of the shadow areas. I don't know, there's just something about it. I really enjoyed it. It could just be placebo because I felt good the day that I was doing it. Who knows? Anyway, please take note of some of the more unconventional processes that I'm doing if you would like to glean any information about my process. I have explained before in these videos, because I filmed every single attempt at my 100-day project thus far, why I'm doing it and what I'm aiming to do, the whole stamp and illustration process. So go check out those videos if you're curious about more information. The rest of this voiceover is just going to be me chatting to you like we're sitting across from each other at the table, which brings me to my first point. Good segue. Thank you, me. My journal meetup. We do have a chance to be across the table from each other. Much like we did last year, we're doing exactly the same thing. Steve has so graciously lent us his Studio Lemon photography studio in Orange County, California, for a meetup on May 27th. It goes from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. I'm going to get all the info out at you, but if you would like to attend, it is a free event. It's informal too. Like there's no specific itinerary, there's no class or lesson, or there's no pop-up shop or anything. We're just informally gathering as journal lovers to bring our supplies together, bring our journals together, and just meet each other and have a great day. You can stay for as short or as long as you want. from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And yeah, RSVP your name, and also if you're bringing someone, just say like Maria +1, and that way I can email you back with address, the address and instructions for like parking and stuff. It's all free parking, like right there on the property. But just to give you all that extra information that I didn't include on the public slides, I've shared on Instagram so you can read more about it there. And then on Facebook, I used the exact same information that I did last year. I just updated the dates. The only difference between last year and this year is the rally stamp. I got a new one made for 2023, which I'm excited about. Like, I needed a reason to make a new one, but that is going to be there. So if you were there last year, it'll kind of run the same way. If you haven't been there before, again, it's just very informal. It's a way for us to get together, hang out, and meet. Some really important pieces of information that I have to stress just in case you missed it. On accessibility, a note on that, it is on the second floor of a kind of gated business complex. So you will need to ascend a flight of 20 steps, a staircase, to get up to the studio. There's not a service elevator or a regular elevator available, so just make note of that as far as accessibility goes. The studio itself is kind of shaped like an L shape and can fit about 30 people in there comfortably. We have tables and chairs set up for journaling and seating, and I'll bring a selection of my journals we can look at, and I'll chat to you, and we'll just have a great day hanging out. If you, for whatever reason, need a mini fridge, there's a little mini fridge there, and there's a standalone toilet cubicle, and that's everything on the studio. The only other thing, if you want, we have a dozo table, which is Japanese for, it's kind of like a mixed meanings, but it's more like take forward, or like go ahead, or here you go, or to go on. Dozo has a bunch of different meanings, but in this instance, if you have old art supplies, or don't have to be old, if you just got art supplies that would love a new home or to live a new life and you want to put them up for adoption, you can do that at the dozo table. Yeah, just an opportunity to rehome some art supplies if you feel like someone else could make better use of some of the things we have lying around in our studio. I'm not quite sure what I have to dozo away because I did bring a bunch of stuff last year, but I'm sure I could find something. But yeah, if you would like to do that, no pressure to bring anything. The only thing I would encourage people to bring is like a snack or a coffee or a Diet Coke or whatever you want to bring. It's pretty conveniently located, so even if you don't bring something and you want to get a coffee, Starbucks is right around the corner, so no worries on that. You do not have to bring a plate. I don't know what happened last year, but a bunch of people brought like pastries and cookies and stuff. It's really sweet, but you do not have to do that. It's just kind of like a BYO thing, but very appreciative to the people that did that last year. That was very sweet. The dozo table, you don't have to bring anything to contribute to that, and you can take things from that table, first in, first serve. I would love for the table to be empty by the end of the day if people bring a bunch of stuff. Otherwise, I will take it at the end of the day and find new homes for it myself if I don't put it in my studio. That did happen last time. I have a couple of pens that people bought that I really liked. So that's the dozo table. Oh, and just keep it art journaling related. Sorry. It seems obvious, but sometimes the obvious stuff does get lost in translation. So bring art journaling related things for the dozo table, and nothing too like worn out. Like if it's like the nub of a pencil, maybe keep that at home, or put in a display case or something as like an achievement that you finished a pencil. Or like a teeny tiny scrap of ephemera. Like we don't really want to put that on there. Just those things are very, very specific and kind of hard to put to use. So just things like pencils, pens, washi tapes, paint supplies, journals themselves, I don't know, whatever you would like to, that is art journaling specific and would be useful for people to rehome. That's that. Oh, last bit of information. Oh, I hate ending on this. I'll have to come up with another thing. This is Steve's actual photo studio, and so we have to leave it the way that he gave it to us. I know that's a very obvious thing to say, but unfortunately we did have a little bit of a stamping issue on some personal property last year, so we cannot have that happen again. Otherwise, Steve will never let me step foot in that studio. So just to get that out there. Other than that, I anticipate having a lovely day. I would love to journal. Realistically, I get way too caught up talking to everybody, but it is my intention to bring my journal and everything all the same. And we'll be there all day, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday, May 27th, 2023. Can't wait to see you there. Please RSVP jameslukeburke at msn.com with your name and the amount of people in your party, and I'll get you the address and the info. Thank you so much. Okay. next on the agenda is just live stuff, really. I mean, I got back from my cruise. It was lovely. Thank you so much. We did Walt Disney World and then we did the cruise. I think I'm going to save my stories for that for whenever I do that travel journal video. I did put the vlog up last week and I have my mum's full journal flip that I have to share with you. It's hilarious. Such a riot. I also filmed all of the staircases in the ship. I know it's super random, but they had a lot of concept art framed in the staircases, so I wanted to share that with you. I don't know if I'm just going to share that as a video, just a random vid, or if I want to do an art journaling spread or something. I'm not quite sure, but I'll get that to you at some point. I know no one's in a super duper rush to see the staircases of the Disney fantasy, but you know, I like to share with you whatever I'm enjoying. That's the whole point of this, isn't it? Whatever I love, I should just share it. So that's coming at some point. I had a lovely time. As soon as we got back from the ship, I was deathly ill. That's a big exaggeration, but I was very sick. I spent 2 days in bed and then trying to recover because I had an audition to go to a couple of days after that. Ironically, for Disney Cruise Line, I shared on Instagram, but there's only so much you can share before that little click wheel makes you start your thought all over again. And I always forget what I say on those things, but I had a good time. I feel like I was confident and did a great job. It didn't work out. There's a lot of auditions happening lately. There's a lot of like evaluation things, and I just feel like I'm really in the thick of it. So send up all your good thoughts and prayers and your manifesting, whatever you like to do, because I'm having a good time, being amongst it. I remember telling you in Playtest Patreon, if you were a part of Playtest 3, that as long as I had something to look forward to, I seem to be in a much healthier headspace. Don't get me wrong, I'm not loving the 2-month hiatus I've had from performing already. It's playing tricks on my brain, but I still have things to look forward to. And I've started doing dance classes again, which I was doing at a different place last year, and was it the year before? I think it was pre-pandemic and then post-pandemic. I could be totally wrong on that. But anyway, I was doing some dance classes at another place that was kind of far away. They're all really far away from here. I wish some of them were a little bit more local. The one I'm going to tonight is actually kind of local, so I'm excited about that. But just a variety of things. I used to do the lyrical, it was lyrical classes, and I did some contemporary classes before. I've started going to jazz class, which is fun. A lot of the time, these classes are adults, which is interesting. I actually really appreciate that they offer these types of classes, because I always assumed when I was younger that adults classes was kind of like baby ballet. Like you got in there and it was like a social thing. You weren't actually trying to dance, and teach, because my niece Savannah is in baby ballet and she is so cute. But like they literally just go in there and, stomp on the floor and do skipping. So I thought some part of me thought adult classes were a little bit like that, except just, for adults. And these are pretty legit. It's literally like when I was doing class when I was younger, except it's just for adults. So the expectation is right off us to actually perform well and do anything well. And we don't have to go to the ground as much, which my knees appreciate. So I've been enjoying it. I would go more often. It's just expensive. Like each class itself can be about $20. I feel like they're little treats to myself. So that's nice. But I'd go more often, I think, if it was a little cheaper. I don't know, would I? Probably not. I think I'm going the right amount. I get so sore. There's a difference for me going to a dance class and then actually going to perform. Especially because when you go to do just for example, when I was working in the parade over Christmas, there's a certain set of skills that I have to be able to do to get through that parade. And even though it can be repetitive, like you might have to do it a bunch of times over, it's 1 to 3 very specific things that might be a little challenging. The rest is choreography as far as skills go. When you go to it, and so to me that's oh, okay, you know exactly what you're in for, and so you prepare yourself exactly for that. Some days I wouldn't really have to warm up my left hip as much as I would actually have to warm up my right hip, stuff like that. When you go to an actual class and then they say, oh, we're going to do technique all day today, which is what happened on Tuesday. My hips are so sore. You're getting put through your paces in everything. So you have to warm up everything. And then you're doing kicks and turns and jumps and, it just is so much. And you're breaking it right back down to when you first learned it, and you're doing your spotting techniques, and you're pointing your feet, you're doing your turnout, you're doing your arms. It gets broken down to such specifics that you sit there and you think, am I actually a dancer? Like, was I ever trained? Should I quit? It can be so revealing. I said to Steve, it's like there's a difference between just, you know, humming along and singing a song and thinking like, oh yeah, I've got the whole song just to sing. And there's a difference between someone taking out like just one phrase and then going over and over and over and then picking out each individual tonal quality of each note, and it feels very vulnerable to go back into that space as an adult, because I feel like I'm preparing for competition or something. But it was really fun, and it was what I needed, because I actually have an evaluation coming up on Sunday, so I needed to kind of brush up on some technique. I tell you what though, as I get older, I don't know if it's this. I don't know. You know, your equilibrium does something. We were doing the turn combinations. I got about 3 combinations in, felt like I was going to throw up. And I was spotting. I was doing what I needed to do. But I don't know what happened. I'm going to chalk it up to just having like residual sickness or something in my brain. But yeah, it felt a little... But that was it. That was Tuesday. I'm going to a jazz class tonight, which is fun. My friend is teaching it. We work together at Disneyland, and she invited me along, and it's later at night. I'm actually helping Steve with a photo shoot this afternoon, so it's all pretty local, so that's nice. I've been trying to get, if you've been, if I don't think I've shared my planner lately, but if you've seen my planner, I've been trying to put days off into my schedule and like very specifically planning social interactions and days off. Ever since I got back from my cruise, you know, I've like every time I have a holiday, I have a whole big reset about my life and my intentions and what I'm gonna do. So I'm trying to ride that wave, pun intended, and just set my life up. I need to be more socially interactive. That's why I really got on that journal meetup. And then I have to keep going to Zumba. I mean, I'm pretty committed to that. I get very obsessive about collecting all my health effort stars in my planner, but then also taking days off. My goal is absolutely definitely 1 a week, but I would love to be able to take 2 off a week. I don't know how realistic that is though. So definitely 1. This week I had Sunday and Tuesday off. They don't have to be consecutive either. I think I can just choose the day at the start of the week, which means I'm probably always going to choose the start of the week because I feel like I always need to be off. I'm in a holiday mode. I'm in a holiday mindset. My sister is about to have another baby, so I'm like desperately wanting to go home to see my family, and especially my sister. I mean, I just saw my mum. I could always see my mum. She's right. So I would really love to go home. I'm gonna check my Google for some cheap Aussie flights, because I mean, once I go home, I'm really staying with family, so it doesn't cost me anything when I get there. Maybe. I don't know. If I can find some really cheap flights, I might just disappear for 10 days. No one knows this yet. Steve doesn't know that yet either. Maybe. But I have some workshop stuff I have to get around to. I would love to revisit that workshop I started last year and have literally all the materials for. I just didn't film the videos. I filmed half the videos. So I don't know if I've got to go and refilm some, or if I think it's compartmentalized the right way, where like this chunk of videos can be filmed last year and then this chunk can be this year. So I think it's going to be fine, but I have to revisit that. I would love to launch that in the summer. It's a style workshop, and it's just like a standalone workshop. It's not with any live components or anything. It's the Daisy style workshop. So basically I take that character Daisy that we do for those challenges sometimes, and I'm teaching the specifics of different styles of illustration that I use, because there's a bunch that I repeat and that I use the same kind of elements for. And then obviously there's derivatives that come with each of those, but there's a very specific like setup for the illustration. Like one of them is always this kind of like 3/4 fashion face bust setup. So I would use the Daisy character to kind of explore that, my thoughts on that, how I specifically do it. Essentially, I'm giving you away all of the tips and tricks that I have, which is what I do every time I teach anyway. But this one's very specifically focused on being able to replicate those styles. Which is, you know, I mean, I don't know if people are really interested in that, but I always find the most interesting part of that is when you're actually learning about style and you have the opportunity to dive into copying someone, like they've given you permission and you can actually go and do it, even though secretly I would always do that in the back of my head anyway. But as me as an artist that would give you permission to do that, I find it is really helpful when you get out of your own head and you're studying someone else's kind of set of stylistic rules and things. I find it a really good way to learn and understand how the style develops, how the derivatives help inform more of the style, and then how these how that process can then be repeated to find another style, and then how that process, you know, again, dominoes off, and then you can create another style from that. And so all of that, I think, is really what I wanted to focus on, and to create a very specific course for that, because there were a bunch of actually in the beginning, I don't know if I'll still do it, but I have identified more than the styles that I'm putting in the course. So the one in this one is, there's 5 of them. But there are obviously more styles that I use to draw with. So, or more like, yeah, it's a style. So I wanted to possibly like do this one as part 1, and then maybe a part 2 where we do 5 more of them and look at 5 other styles and dive into the specifics of those. So that's something I would love to do for the summer. But last year when I said I was going to do that, I put it on the back burner until this year. So I should be very clear in saying these are all tentative. But the thing I don't think is tentative is my Virtual Voyage 8, I believe it'll be 8 workshop, which I would like to do kind of later in the summer, the earliest parts of fall, and it will be a Burtonville 2 workshop. This is the first time I'm announcing it. I'll be working towards that. Let's just not put a date on it. Let's not lock it in stone. But I'm very excited because it's something I kind of committed to actually last year. But I really want to revisit that, pick apart some of the old themes, bring in a lot of new themes. There's just such a treasure trove of, you know, excitement to explore in Tim Burton's work, and especially with new themes. So I'm really looking forward to putting a lot of that together. Yet to determine whether I want it to be another 2-week course as kind of like a companion to the first one, or if I would like it to be shorter or longer. I don't think I'm interested in one of the 4-day ones. Did we do? Yeah, we did 4 days. Not the mini one. The mini one is not for Burtonville. Mini one for mini ideas. Even the ones we did the Upon a Star, when we did that, I just feel like it was so short. In my mind, I literally, it doesn't even register as one workshop. To me, I don't, it's just like a blip. Something happened and like a whole workshop apparently happened, but I don't remember that happening. In my mind, the last one we did was Tokyo A Go-Go. So, yeah, I don't know if the 4-day ones were the right thing to do. I mean, they are. I just think it would have to be like a very small idea. Like maybe, you know how I float around that idea of the Divas cruise, which for whatever reason, why I would pick that, I don't know. But if I did, maybe that would be like a 4-day one. Anyway, that's all that on that. You've seen Collage Club for May. I really enjoyed putting all those 100-day project illustrations in there. I've decided that you get 25, there were 25 in it. What was April. The first 25 are in April. The second 25 are in May. Next month there'll be another 25. This is if I keep going, which I think I will. And then the other 25 will be in the month after that. But I will do something separate on Etsy. My plan is to put them all together as all 100, and to put them on Etsy as its own set, as the 100-day project set. Just telling you that now because I know there have been some people that have been collecting older sets on Etsy, and I just want to make sure you always know it's the most economical way to get into Collage Club and get all of those sheets by signing up, because there's 4 months right now on rotation. So especially even if you're going to collect all of the 100-day project set, I would join like next month or the month after, because you'll have all of the 100-day project set in there. I wouldn't wait to purchase that on Etsy separately. Most of the only thing I ever imagined that people purchasing on Etsy would do that for is because they just didn't know about Collage Club until more recently, and they just wanted something from the back catalog, so all the sets are there, available there. But the actual subscription itself is designed to run as one of the most affordable ways to kind of purchase something from my jlbCREATIVE brand, because it is I think it's one of the most affordable offerings that I have, apart from all the free content that we make. But it's one of the most affordable things you can purchase and kind of, yeah, use, I guess. Anyway, just a note on that. Always trying to save you $1. Myself. It's me telling me if I was going to do it, James, just join in. We made you July, get all of them. I'm pretty good at being frugal when I have to be. Yeah, I've got any other information down here? Not really. I went to Disneyland on Tuesday. That was nice. That was a part of me trying to force myself to take the day off. That's why I had the dance class in the morning and I had Disneyland in the afternoon. And I knew by the time I got back, I really wouldn't want to do anything. We actually went to go and see friends after that anyway. But yeah, it was really nice. I got to see my friends dancing in the parade, which was really nice. I got to see Steve singing, which was really nice. Everything was really nice. I had a churro as well. Gonna get my hair cut tomorrow. Like I said, I'm helping Steve out with the shoot today. Steve is getting very busy with his photography. I should bring him on at some point and let him tell you his trajectory, because he seems to be really taking off in a very exciting direction that I'm really excited for. I feel like he is doing lots of creative things that are just very impressive, and I am excited to go along and just be of assistance. Is he coming? Oh, I heard him walking. I was like, is he coming in to tell everybody about his success? No, probably not going to get on camera today. But yeah, I'm going to go help him with his photo shoot now. We're going to do my art snacks as well. And that's it. I've been doing this journal too, just to show you before I go. My big, I put this on Instagram. The big Trader Joe's paper bag journal. This one has a different cover. I put a white watercolor paper cover on it. It doesn't even fit the whole way around. That's how big these Trader Joe's bag journals are. And then someone came out, a lot of people came out with ideas. They were very good, thank you so much. But I think the one that I'm going to go with is Jumbo Journal. I just love that. I love alliteration, as if I couldn't. And I think the idea was James's Jumbo Journal or something. I'm not quite sure. And I'm so sorry, but I've forgotten the name of the person that put that in there. But you win. You win no prize. Just the fact that I'm going to steal that from you, and I'm going to be calling this a Jumbo Journal. But thank you for your suggestions, because I could no longer call it my recycled Trader Joe's junk journal. Way too many words, and I just love the alliteration. So this is now this one and the other one, which is right there from Christmas. These are my Jumbo journals, and when I'm saying that, I'm referring to any massive journal that I've made out of recycled Trader Joe's shopping paper bags. I'm so glad that got sorted. Anyway, had a great time talking to you. I hope you had a wonderful time watching this. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll endeavor to get back to you. You know, I'm terrible with these comments lately. But yeah, don't forget about the meetup if you're going to be around, if you're going to be in town. If you are traveling from out of town, I cannot be held personally responsible for how much fun you have. That's a lot of pressure to put on me, but I would suggest making a whole trip out of it. We live right near Disneyland. Go to Disneyland, have a great time. Yeah, there's so much to do in Southern California. I don't need to sell it to you, but if you are going to be around, please enjoy your stay and your trip, and we would love to see you there on May 27th from 10 till 3. Other than that, have a wonderful week. I think maybe the next thing I might share is my mum's journal flip or the stairway artwork, something from the ship, something from the holiday, because I have to be able to share those. I don't want to wait until like August to share some of those things, so I'll try and get them up there for you pretty soon. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your art journaling. I'll see you soon. Bye.